So this is a short video showing the exploration of a place where water is coming out of the ground for the potential for spring development. As you can see, there's already a spring box here on the left side, that stone right there. This is an old spring, and this is about 150 feet above my farm and house. In the springtime, that water from that spring is overflowing over the top, but even in the driest of times, I've noticed that it holds water really well. What I've also noticed is water coming out of the ground just to the right of that. You'll see dark looking soil that's kind of mucky, and it's the beginning of a spring-fed creek. That first perspective was looking at it from above, looking downhill, and now this shot is just looking up at it, and you can kind of see the mucky dark soil where that water's coming out. So these photos and videos are taken September 22nd, 2025 at the tail end of a historic drought, where I'm hiring someone to come dig around and see what we can find. When it's this dry, this is some of the best time to be looking for water, because you know if you have it in these conditions, then it's probably a reliable source. And this is after the first initial couple digs with the excavator, where he actually cuts an old pipe that must have been coming out of that old spring, but we're already beginning to see water come up out of the rocks, which is a good sign. Now this is where I start to get really excited, because as you can see, there's a good bit of volume of water coming out of the bedrock here. It really doesn't take long for this water to start filling up the hole that was created by the digging. Good sign. It always feels a little uneasy inviting a big machine up into such an undisturbed place in the woods like this, but here we are just embracing cheap fuel, getting so much done in about a 3-hour span that I can't even really imagine what it would be like to do by hand. Watching this guy on his machine, he's really a wizard, because he's navigating such wet areas very skillfully, and had a lot of experience digging around and developing springs, so I felt like I was in good hands. So at this point, we found a new seam of water that was coming out of rock, and then knew that there was a good bit of water coming where this previous really old spring had been developed. I'm not really quite sure the story of that old spring, but we thought it was a good idea to take it out to kind of see what that seam of water looked like, and hopefully design or vision a system, a spring system that might harness both of these seams of water that are emerging in really close proximity to each other. So at this point, the stoke is literally soaring, because I'm beginning to sense that there's a real potential for a nice spring here. And remember, this is a really, really dry, the end of a really, really dry year. So to have water coming out like this in these conditions is really what dreams are made of. It felt like such a blessing, and especially to have it held so high in the landscape above where we plan to use it is just super exciting. Another quick thing to add is that it actually rained quite a bit right after this, and I noticed that the volume of water coming out of it remained pretty constant even after quite a big rain. So that's actually a good sign, and it means that the water that is expressing at the surface here isn't really dependent on the water table, and rather is probably coming from a deeper, more reliable source. So stay tuned for the development of the spring over time, and don't mind this random picture as I finish talking, and will sometime soon learn to flip my phone in landscape mode for YouTube videos.